This girl held her mother pinned to the pool. The daughter, whose mother was struggling, did not let go, and so she drowned her mother. And the sister picks up her mobile phone and calls the police. She screamed at the top of her lungs, saying that her mother was drowning. She told the police to come quickly. Then the sister hung up the phone and she instantly became indifferent. It was as if he hadn't been the one who had been anxious and scared. The next day the two sisters laughed and laughed. It was as if only one person had died yesterday who didn't matter. But that's not the worst part. What's scary is that it's a film based on true events. The story begins at the beginning. Since they were children, the sisters, since they were children, they and their brother have been wandering around with their mother. They moved from time to time. The mother always said that they would have a new place and a new start, that they would be able to have a good life, but reality was always harsh and the family became poorer and poorer. My mother loved to drink. All she did was drink at work. She was often fired by her boss for this reason, because she had no regular income for many years. The family was often left with little to eat. One day the sisters came home to find the house in disarray. The mother was on the floor and had been fired again. No work, no money. The mother approached her aunt again. She wanted to borrow some money to help, but her aunt refused, because she had borrowed money many times before, but she never paid her money back. When she saw her aunt's attitude, she knew that she couldn't borrow money this time, since relatives were unreliable. She found a husband. It wasn't long before my mother returned home with her new husband. The sisters were very enthusiastic when their stepfather arrived. They thought they had a family to rely on this time, but the stepfather's eyes were on the sister. That night, he gagged her. He struggled to get free. He went to his room in a state of shock and cried. His sister asked what was wrong, but his sister wouldn't say anything to him. All she knew was that the house would never be quiet again. Girl molested by stepfather, and the mother chooses to watch silently so she can have money to spend. Choosing to watch in silence, the sister pushed her stepfather away, covered her mouth, and ran back to her room. The next day the family is happy. The stepfather hooks his foot on the sister's foot, and the sister resists. Mother finds out about new love interest. She tried to take it out on her daughter by pushing her stepfather through his collar, but the stepfather threw him to the ground and kept beating him. Watching her mother being beaten up, the two sisters knew that their stepfather was no good. One day when the sister was giving her mother a bath, she saw the bruises on her mother's back. The sisters then found their real father, but the father wouldn't help, because he had a new family and new children. Since their real father couldn't be trusted, the sisters decided to take matters into their own hands. That night, when their stepfather was about to commit domestic violence against their sister, the sister rushed to her sister's defense and drove him away. But the next morning, their mother brings him home again. The two sisters were furious, but the mother acted as if nothing had happened. One day the family was playing cards. Suddenly, the stepfather slapped the brother to the ground. When the brother got up, he didn't stand still. He accidentally pushed his glass of water onto his stepfather. The sister ran over to protect the brother. The mother breaks down and cries. The stepfather continued to smash things and slammed the door. This time the two sisters couldn't take it anymore. They could no longer live in this environment. The sisters planned to eradicate the source of the tragedy. They decided to cause the accidental death of their mother as a wife. Two sisters prepared to murder their mother. One pours wine and the other drugs. The two worked in tandem. They then pushed their drunken mother into the bathtub, faking a drunken drowning. Soon the mother was dead. The sister grabbed her mobile phone and called the police. The police took her body away. The sister was on the sofa pretending to be in pain. The sister looks despondent. The police looked at the two helpless sisters. They felt very distressed because the mother had been a drinker. She had failed to commit suicide before, so the police closed the case as an accidental death. The sisters then moved in with their aunt. The two sisters were very happy. At last they could live happily ever after. Not only did they have their own room and a big bed, they had many good friends. But then, at a party, the sister, who had had too much to drink, she reveals that she has killed her mother. Now everyone knew about the two sisters' affair. The gossip at school drove her to a breaking point. She committed suicide. Luckily, her sister found out. She saved her sister. Soon the police contacted the aunt's son. The aunt's son was asked to be a spy. The next day he found a reason to take his sister out, and he tricked him into telling him the details of the case and how it happened. But the conversation between them was overheard by the police who were listening in. The two sisters were then arrested. They were both sentenced to 10 years, and for 10 years they were not allowed to see each other. And that's the end of the story. The family should have been happy and prosperous. If their mother had loved them more, perhaps the sisters would have chosen differently. This shows how much influence a family of origin can have on a child's life.